All right, people, another week, another detour over here in East Perth on the PSP. We're starting at this green line at the car park. Now, interestingly enough, there's no warning signage for cyclists ahead of the detour. I'm looking at the back of a sign here that's directed at drivers saying end detour, thanks for slowing down. But the first I know of this as a detour for cyclists is when I actually come to this. Now, at least they've got nice clear signage in the middle of the path, and they've got cycling and pedestrian symbols, and it's all reflective and there's lots of cones. That's good, no issues. Footpath closed. I've already ridden through this in the opposite direction, and I did that without commentating on it because, funnily enough, I actually missed the start of the detour from the other end, even though I was kind of halfing expecting it to be in place. So this is going to be interesting. All right, so that sign there, kind of in the shade a little bit, but whatever. Now, interestingly, up ahead they've got this, actually I'm thinking of the old detour, aren't I? Duh. So they've got an arrow pointing me straight ahead, which is good because I would have turned left here, having done that half a dozen times with the old detour. Although I would have replaced that sign with exactly the same signs they used prior. The bigger signs, the like 3-panel or whatever they are, and used the pedestrian and cyclist symbol there as well. So we know who's going straight ahead. Cyclists and pedestrians are going straight ahead. Not the end of the world, but just an idea for improvement. Right. Nice clear signage here at this corner, visible from a reasonable distance back. That's all good. I know the detour is for me because it's got a bike symbol. Hooray! Down here, okay, these are nice and clear as well. So, although, this is where you kind of get a bit caught out. Am I turning left or right here? I guess I'd know. Or would I? Yeah, look, I guess if I'm heading towards the city, and normally I would have gone down the path and turned right, I would know to turn left here. Is that obvious? I think at that T-junction, I would have put a left and a right sign saying turn right to go to Optus, turn left to go to the city. Look, I know where I'm going. I've done this a million times before. I'm thinking about people doing this for the first time, the tourists and things like that. So just got to think about stuff like that. Now, as usual, I can't see any maps anywhere describing where I'm supposed to go. And what I'm on now is a resurfaced bit of path. I think this was closed off for the first stage. Now, just up in front of me, there's a variable message sign. I'm going to do a U-turn and we're going to read what's on it because I'm just interested to see if they've updated it now that presumably the first stage is finished. No. So PSP closure, 3rd to the 15th of April, stage 1 and 3, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, stage 2, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Still don't understand why they do that. Stage 1's presumably over and done with. Are we now in stage 2 for this? I don't know. Does this mean it's only closed during the day? Is it closed at night? I'm just baffled by that sign. I would have just put information on it one stage at a time. Now, because I'm still completely baffled by those variable message signs, let's go to the Main Roads travel website and have a look. So here's the Graham Farmer Freeway where I was. Here's the works. And this is saying it's going to go from Monday the 17th of Feb to the 20th of April. Is that at odds with what's on the variable message sign? I'm not sure. But let's find out more and see what the map tells us. And this is where it gets interesting because it says nothing on here about the phases, whereas the map talks about phases 1, 2, and 3. There's nothing here about which one of these is phases 1, 2, and 3. I'm assuming we're on phase 2 because the yellow bit of path is what's closed off now. I don't know, you tell me. And it looks like it's closed for 2 weeks from the 17th of February. Oh, that's a bit out of date, isn't it? Because we're now at the 8th of April and this is, it's like,
All these dates are wrong. I guess at least the times are correct because it's been closed Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But obviously no one has bothered to update this map to explain what the heck is going on. Because look, if this path closure here in pink is no longer going ahead, I would just remove it from the map. In fact, the only thing I'd have on this map for this week is the closure that's relevant, which might be this bit in yellow, and everything else I would leave out. And the other thing I'd have on this map, of course, is where the heck is the detour? Because if we want to go up here, up towards Maylands, etc., we'll just ignore the pink and the blue bits. So we'd go along here, along the path, and then we'd be turning off up here, coming up. Where are we going? No, we'd follow along here and across there. So you can see there's no detour information on this map. But if you just showed this part here has been closed and you put a detour on here, you can actually print these out and put them on site to tell people where to go. You know, like put them here, and put them here as well. That would be pretty useful information.
Now, the first inkling I had of a closure here was when I saw this vehicle parked on the side of the path. At least it's parked on the side of the path. The path closure sign is almost edge on. So the problem with that is you only really get to see that side path is closed when you're almost ready to turn into it. You know, like the signage, the variable message sign back there says, yeah, path closed ahead. Yeah, where? There's no map telling you where it's closed. There's no path, can't turn left up ahead or anything. It's just, you just get to it and it's like, oh, it's closed. Okay, we'll turn right here, as I said. I think that signage is fine. I think, you know, if they just used these signs all the way through consistently, don't chop and change and have just a single arrow over there in the middle of the road. Just use these ones. And then all you got to do is change the direction of the arrow. Okay, maybe you could take the detour out for this, where you're going straight across the road, and you just have, you know, a white cycling and pedestrian thing and an arrow pointing forward. That'd do nicely. Now can I see, now I can only just see the sign from here as I come around that bend. And yeah, who's it directed at? I mean, you might think, oh, obviously cyclists and pedestrians. I assume nothing. And look, cyclists might not have come through the detour from the very beginning. Now this sign here is blocked by a tree. Don't know if there's much I can do about that. And on the other side of the road, well, there's nothing here to tell me to turn right because obviously the stuff turning left is all blocked off. But I mean, again, it seems pretty obvious, but if you wanted to do it for completeness, you know, I would do that just to let people know the detour is finished. And interestingly enough, there is an end detour sign over there that I can see kind of edge on. But I think that's directed very much more at drivers. I get the feeling when I turn that corner to get onto the path, what is it with these cars today? I'm probably not going to have time to read it as I go around the corner and see the detour is finished. All right, so I come over here, turn the corner, end detour. Look, it's in a lot of ways, it's probably a simpler detour than the last one. It's easier that they're just directing people across here to the left. There's, you know, no issues about people being able to go straight ahead and confusion about which way they're going. They've used, you know, nice big signs. Generally they're well placed. I think I would have pulled that one forward out of the shade. And when I go along here, I really have to fight the urge to turn left and go the way we've been going for the last couple of weeks. It's just a really strong urge. Now what I've got to look out for here is cars turning from my right into the street. There's two of them there. Might not be terribly obvious to cyclists using this detour for the first time. And of course that's why you want to have really nice clear detours. So it's crystal clear where you're going, so you can keep an eye on the traffic. If you're trying to figure out where you're going, looking here and here and here and all over the place, and you're not looking at cars possibly turning into you, then that's a risk you're going to get run over. This is why I keep going on about why these detours have to be 100% foolproof, and you can go through them with your brain switched off, because all your brain power should be focused on looking at the traffic or looking at the road conditions and not trying to figure out where you are. If you're spending 80% of your brain, processing, and your eyeballs looking everywhere except at the traffic, you're going to get cleaned up. All right, that'll do for this detour.